Howdy. It's been a while, and you join us here at Shez Collins in a state of misery for innumerable, very, very profound reasons, and also for reasons like I've completely done my back in, which is why you will see me sitting like a prat for the next however long this gibberish takes. So, in the spirit of being miserable, we decided to finish the Web Planet tonight. It's been a while, but I couldn't bear to get through one episode and have another one to go, so we finished it. And fundamentally, the Web Planet is my least favourite story so far. This was the discussion we had after episode 6 wrapped up, and I said to the good lady, Dr. Collins, is that the worst one we watched so far? And the only one that she could compare it to in terms of being not very good was The Edge of Destruction, which she described as that two-parter, which wasn't very good. I think this is substantially worse. She was a bit more of an apologist. And to be fair, there's some things about the Web Planet that are interesting. The whole, like I think I've said, the boldness of it in telling a story like this is something that has to be admired, if not, as it transpired, enjoyed. Now, I still have my regular post Doctor Who story reading to do, but Philip Sandifer, who I've read, goes at great lengths not to apologise for the planet for making you feel uncomfortable and weird, but using that as a justification for it to exist in the first place. The fact that you are, as a viewer, made to feel uncomfortable and unsure of what's going on and wary and all that kind of shebang. Doesn't work for me, primarily because that's not really what I watch Doctor Who for. Now, I'm the sort of person that will pretty much put with whatever Doctor Who does. I don't like the phrase, "Oh, that's not Doctor Who," that you hear some people saying, especially when it came back in 2005, whatever it was. People saying, "Oh, it's not Doctor Who though, is it? It's not Doctor Who." Well, it is. It's got Doctor Who slapped on the front. It's made by the BBC, and it follows this continuity that we've grown to know and love. If you don't like what it does, fair enough, but it's still Doctor Who. And so this is undoubtedly Doctor Who. Just it's not very good. I think that the key moment that really highlighted what fails, what causes this story to fail, is in episode 5, where you get a belated attempt at humour, because Doctor Who should be fun, and this story isn't fun. And you get a little attempt at humour with Doctor and Vicky having an natter about Zombo, the friendly Zarbi that they've managed to coerce by some strange plot development into their escape. And you get a couple of gags which did make me laugh out of desperation as much as anything else. But then immediately, I'm sure it's the next moment, you get I think probably the most horrific thing to have happened in Doctor Who so far in this little experiment. Not so little now, obviously. Which is where an Optra, this man-sized grub, to cut a long story short, sticks his head through a rock to staunch the flow of acid, therefore using his head and shoulders and torso to be the thumb in the dike, and obviously killing itself in the process. And it's vile, and it's just done. It's not even a cliffhanger. I was convinced it was a cliffhanger when I was thinking forward. Head through wall into acid. Cliffhanger. No, just a moment that comes and goes and isn't really talked about after, and it's vile. I mean, I think the Opera are quite insulting characters. They are for reasons that are explained to a extent, but essentially the stupider cousins of the Menoptera. And the way that they're portrayed is like they are, and I hesitate to use this word because I'm sure that it can be slapped down, but it's like they're retarded, and it's horrible. I think it's insulting and rude, and it just is such a miserable place to be. Now, I think I made a point early on in this story comparing it to the Daleks, and saying the Zarbi were the next attempt to have the next big, famous baddie that could come back, or at least, be the next thing that gave Doctor Who its talking point. And to be fair, the first episode of this, I think, based on Radio Times cover, got 13.9 million people watched it. But it's just so unfun, and it's just so serious. And I go back to what I've said all along. I don't think it makes any difference whether or not you've got humanoid characters in it or anything like that. Fundamentally, I just don't enjoy watching this story. And I think the Monopoly could be a bit more fun. And there's a reference in About Time, I think, about if everybody treated it a bit more casually. Well, if you read casually as being a bit more, not light-hearted necessarily, but just with a bit of light and dark, you know, yes, it's a pretty shoddy situation, but there's lots of shoddy situations in Doctor Who, and there's often a bit of fun to be had out of it. And there's no fun here. So essentially, we get to the end, they all bog off, and then I was really hoping at the end of the story we'd have the inside of the TARDIS scene where we land somewhere else and life could go, but no, we still stick around on frickin' Vortis. All of our insectoid friends bubbling about and we'll sing songs about these guys. Oh, the Earth people, they came and they helped us. Oh, now we're free from the animals. So anyway, there we go. This is what happens when you have a very, very grand idea and you go for it full force and really try to make it work, but leave the fun at home. Never leave the fun at home. You need to have some fun, no matter how grim and unpleasant life gets. I think if you leave the fun at home, then you may as well not bother. And aside from the consistency of the experiment, I wish I'd not bothered with the Web Planet again. If I ever watch the Web Planet again, there'll be a good reason for it. It'll be because I don't know, because me and my friends have decided to get completely off our faces, and they say, what's the worst Doctor Who story you could show us? The Web Planet would be a contender. So there you go, boldly stated here, 7.5 minutes into this ramble about 2 episodes that I didn't enjoy. This is my first contender for the worst Doctor Who story ever. There we go. Let the ramifications of that comment begin. Anyway, next one should be better.